Almost half a year after James Harden demanding a trade from the Philadelphia 76ers, we are finally finding a new home for the Beard, and that home being the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers acquired 10-time All-Star guard James Harden in a blockbuster trade with the Philadelphia 76ers on Monday night. And the 76ers are sending James Harden, PJ Tucker, Philippe Petrusev to the Clippers for Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, Nick Batum, KJ Martin, a 2028 unprotected first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, a 2029 pick swap, an additional first-round pick from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, what are your initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely a loaded trade here, but obviously the big prize was PJ Tucker. No, I'm just kidding. James Harden, for sure. And how big this trade is, it always impacts more than just the trade itself. And kind of what I'm getting at there is that there could be potential more trades from what Philadelphia acquired here. We'll kind of talk more about that in a bit, but that's a lot of contracts they got between Robert Covington, Marcus Morris, Nick Batum, even KJ Martin a little bit too. That's a lot of money on the table, and it's a lot of depth for them too, but it could mean another trade in the future. And kind of real quick on the 76ers now, they got a ton of depth in return for a guy who didn't even want to be there anymore in James Harden. And no matter what way you want to look at that, depth is a good thing, even if they do eventually trade it. I like what they got here. They didn't have a ton of big wing depth up until this point, so I like the Covington addition for them, especially. Really good combo wing defender, a little bit rim protector too, can kind of help with a small ball lineup next to Embiid a little bit. Not that that's really a small ball, but he can play that role really well. And then they got more athletic with guys like KJ Martin, and they kind of transformed the whole look of their team here. And I really like that they replenished their trade asset pool, because after they traded for Harden only, a year and a half ago, they didn't have much left, so they really were never in the market when it came to making a trade for like a Jrue Holiday, which they were definitely in on, but couldn't execute because they didn't have the trade assets to do it. Now they definitely could. You mentioned all the draft picks they got, and then I talked about the tradable contracts they have now. They could put that potentially towards another star player, borderline star player. Who knows, maybe a guy like Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan might hit the trade market at the deadline if Chicago or some other team that's not quite at that contender level finally decides to blow it up. But regardless of what happens there, I think the main takeaway for Philly anyways is that the Harden trade opens up the door for Tyrese Maxey to really shine. He's already averaging about 30 points per game on really good efficiency right now, about 50% from the field and 56% from beyond the arc. And a lot of people were worried about if they would trade Harden, and with the whole situation going on there, if Joel Embiid would want to leave after that then. But I think what Tyrese Maxey is showing right now, along with all the assets they've accumulated, that should really signal to Embiid that they have enough, or they can get even more with the assets they have, and that they can definitely remain competitive both in the short term and kind of in the long term future for him too. So I really like that from the Philadelphia 76ers aspect, and then I do like it from the Clippers aspect too.